Man, well, listen, let's get into a little bit of who you are, man. So, for the people that don't know, been sleeping under a rock or from a different planet like Roosevelt here, let the beautiful people know who Cooper Housley is.
So, born in Springfield, Missouri, but primarily like raised, grew up in Aiken, South Carolina. It's like best way to describe it is it's right next to where they play the Nationals for golf. So, just kind of grew up watching wrestling, loved wrestling, got into it, did some sports in high school, did sports in college, kind of saw growing up. I was like, oh, WWE loves them some athletes. They love former athletes. So I played football in high school, did track and field, ended up parlaying that into a track and field scholarship in college. Did that for a year, realized how deeply I hated school, every bit of it. uh, Lasted a year, left, was not going back no matter what it was for. And then I picked up pro wrestling, started training for there. Then COVID hit. And then once COVID hit, just kind of slowed everything down. It hit, I want to say, I was supposed to debut the March where COVID really picked up and everything started closing down because the way I remember it is Pure for PWX. They used to be around for all the guys that remember PWX. They were about to run their Pure show, and then Pure got canceled like the day before. The day before, state of North Carolina declared their emergencies. They shut everything down, and so I was like, "Oh, sick! I just get to, wait 8 months to debut that I've been kind of training for almost a year to get ready for." But okay, we'll wait it out. Other people got bigger problems than me, and then I finally got into it. Wrestled for a little while. Saw a buddy of mine that I did track and field with in high school. Actually, I saw him online. I was like, he was posting about going to the slap thing, and I was like, that's weird. That's the slap. I saw them like they had a show on TBS for a little bit, but I was like, okay, I don't know why you would. Let me shoot him a text. I was like, why would you ever want to go do this? That looks terrible. And he was like, oh well, they flew me out to Vegas. They pay this much. They do this, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's. What did you say the email was for that? Because that doesn't really. It sounds a lot better when you throw out numbers like that.
Right.
So I was like, no, I'll throw the hat in the ring, see what happens. I was wrestling every weekend at the time still. So I was like, if nothing comes of it, nothing comes of it. If something comes of it, cool, it'll be fun. And had a 2 weeks later, maybe I get a text and they were like, "Hey, we're from Power Slab. You want to give us a little bit more information, a little bit more?" And I was like, "Oh, they might actually make it a thing. All right, cool, cool, cool." Sent them some information, sent them some videos of like slap form, and they had these guys that have never slapped like that before sending it. So we're all like trying to figure out the angle for how we want to be seen slapping and stuff. And my buddy was like, "Screw it, just take a random video, send it." I was like, "Okay, cool, cool, cool." Ended up having my first fight with them at Power Slap 3. Um, I won it by DQ, got knocked the hell out.
Mm.
Um, had never taken a real solid hit like that before. And so by the time they called me back out for my second and third fight, I was like, all right, guys, how do I defend this? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And just sat down with some of these guys who've had 10, 15 fights already. And they're like, oh, no, you just got to stand like this and lock your shoulder this way and do this and do that. And I'm like, oh, you guys put so much thought into this. I just thought you had to stand there and take it.
Right.
But
Well, that's what I was thinking. Stand there and take
yeah,
it. But there's a
there's
technique
definitely.
to defending against it.
There's techniques down to like how you want your feet set, where you want to be driving while you're getting hit. One of my buddies equated it, and it's the best way, and it's one of the ways that I take it. Is when sorry, I'm cold, so I'm shivering a lot, so that's why I'm like stopping every couple seconds.
I know, right.
Is like a buddy of mine played football in college, and he was like, the best way to think of it is if you've ever played football and you're going just head up in the line, you don't even necessarily have to play like if you're blitzing and you're coming up and you just that initial hit, that's kind of what it's like. So it's one of those things where if you get hit and you don't really have the heart for it or the chin for it, you're gonna go down. But
Yeah.
if you can sit there and take one or two and just kind of push through those hits, it's not. I mean, I get paid pretty well to get hit just a handful of times. So
Man, so let me ask you a question because I always wanted to ask this, and it just seems like in power slapping and some sports, the beard is cheating. So what is does the beard help absorb some of the force of the slap, or is it just
So
for cosmetics? You know, what I'm saying?
for me personally, this is something that I have a terrible double chin under here. I have the worst jawline, so it's just been hiding. I've had a beard since I was 16 for that reason. You do get some people, a lot of people, whenever they get into it, they start to grow it out more. And for me, it's one of those things where it can definitely, depending on the person, it can make it a little bit harder to find your lineup point. But in terms of
Mm.
like padding and stuff, for the last show that I went out for, Power Slap 8, they actually implemented something new where they had, if you see the videos, my beard is in a rubber band like this.
Uh,
And in my opinion, this almost pulling it everything down almost provides more padding than it would being not. Because if it's just free, it's just free. You can still you see people with big beards get rocked. You can still find it pretty well. Versus if you're pulling it all down, I feel like it almost compacts it into more of a guard. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they're eventually going to give us like boxing, where they're going to give us a length we can go to. It's one of those things where since it's still, we're about to have Power Slap 9 in Abu Dhabi, and it's only the ninth event. We're still every show the rules are changing, different things like we're figuring out what works best as for Power Slap as a company, what helps everyone out, what's going to give you more fights with less like DQs and stuff. I know they've changed up some of their stepping rules, which they were like, hey, too many people are stepping, so we're going to kind of broaden up what stepping is. And I was like, oh, you just want to see people get rocked. Cool.